Gwen's loyal assistant, Erin Moore, who has now made it her life's mission to blindly support Elizabeth in whatever circumstance, says some things, her testimony of why Elizabeth should be the next women's movement's unquestioned leader. In this one clip, you will hear her compare this to Jesus' triumphant entry into Jerusalem with his statement how even if the people didn't sing, the rocks and stones would cry out. You'll hear her talk about seeing 2 deer at Ashlon, which is Elizabeth's sign that she's received a double portion of Gwen's spirit, which has commonly been referred to on Remnant's stage and by Elizabeth herself in her talks. You'll hear Erin talk about the psychopathic statement of watching once again 2 dolphins in the water spinning and say never seen before, and how they were all watching the ocean at night with a sight which in her estimation, these things just don't happen. Listen to how firmly and strongly supportive these loyal women are to the next women's movement leader, Elizabeth Hannah Kaufman.
And it was a result of what she had watched Gwen live and the teaching of God first that Gwen instilled in all of us, and so selflessly, made sure that there was a firm foundation there so that, whatever happened, Elizabeth knew exactly what to do, and she could handle it like Job in the Bible. And literally, it gives me chills reading that story now because of all that she's lost and all the suffering that she's been through. But she's not wavered, and she's still just, God, what's next? What do you need from me next? Who can I help? And that relationship with God is I feel like if I don't tell it, the rocks are going to cry out, because that's how beautiful and inspiring it is. And I know that God is pleased with the way that she's handled this, because she has gotten so many, just being there by her side, watching so many answered prayers, so many signs. I got to be there the first time she spoke, that first Wednesday night when she called in. And it was just, hearing the stories, but at the same time watching, it's amazing. And so watching when she went around the room that day in Gwen's library and opened up one journal after another and one book, and she goes, oh my goodness, this is Moses, and these are the 2 leaders who held up his arms and followed after him, and then, opening up another journal, and literally it was one thing after another. No human could orchestrate that. It has to be God. And then even just last week, there were several things, obviously the double deer, but several things that we had never seen in Destin before. And I feel like we've seen some amazing things, but there was one day where the dolphins were there, but not just there. We had multiple people, and of course, unfortunately we didn't get footage, but multiple people saying, double dolphins jumping at the same time, and then a dolphin going up and spinning. And just things like that we've not seen before. The colors of the water and the sunsets. And I think she already shared, but there was one night we were out on the deck praising God and singing. And over on one side was the moon and the moonlight over the water. And then in front of us was literally, I've never seen the stars twinkle before, but they were literally twinkling stars and shooting stars. And then over on the far side, it was this massive cloud with lightning behind it. And this went on for probably an hour or so. We were out there just singing to God, praising God, worshiping God with this just panoramic. These things don't just happen.